Hey, what's up, guys? So, I'm actually filming this in January 5th, 2017. So, it's probably not going to go on to YouTube for the next couple weeks. But I just want to give a New Year's kind of update on my fishing stuff on the rod and reel combos that I'll be using this upcoming year. So, now I know I did one in August. It has changed, not that much, but it has changed. I've added 2 rods to the actual lineup, and I do believe I've learned a lot more in fishing ever since last August, so I can give you a little bit of an update on what I actually used the rods for, more specifically than I did last time. Also, some of the line setups have changed, so I'll let you guys know. So the first rod I'm going to show you guys is my fairy wand. Everyone loves a good old fairy wand, right? So this is one of the oldest rods I have. This is a quantum snapshot. I actually ripped that snapshot feature off. It wasn't working. And it has 8-pound Cajun line on it. And it is paired up, obviously, you guys know me, with a Berkley cherrywood rod. Now this is a 6-foot, 6-inch rod. It's a medium light action, medium light power. And it's got right around a moderate action with it. Now this is my light Texas rig rod, light jerkbait rod, like crankbait rod. Anytime I need a small rod to cast some small actual lures, this is my go-to. I've caught a lot of fish with this. It's a breakdown rod, so I can put it just about anywhere. I can put it in a backpack with it just sticking up, and it's a very compact rod, and it's one of my favorite ones I have. Now, next rod that I have, which is my oldest bait caster, is a Berkley rod paired up with an Abu Garcia Silver Max. Now this one, it has not changed really at all since the last rod update video, and it is on a, this is the first generation of the Silver Max. I want to get that out there. It is a 6-bearing design, and it's a 6:2-to-1 gear ratio, so it's a nice kind of medium gear ratio that I can actually work that rod, work the rod with different lures and everything like that pretty easily. Now this rod is a Berkley Lightning Rod. This is a Berkley Lightning Rod custom. Now I did buy this at Bass Pro. This was a combo. I really like the split handle in it. It's a nice light rod. It is a 6-foot 6-inch medium power with a moderate action rod, which if you guys are worried about getting like so many rods for different lures and such, this actual rod, a medium power with a moderate action, is a great combination. Works great for spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, crankbaits. So it's a good combination. But this rod specifically, I use it for spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, swim baits, like the small swim baits, spoons, anything like that. It has it's 12-pound Berkley big game monofilament on there. I really like that. This is my go-to, like I said, spinnerbait rod, but it's also my backup topwater rod, and I'll get to that in a moment. So a very nice rod that I can use all day. It's a really nice light rod. Doesn't tire you out one bit. Definitely one of my workhorse rods. Now this right here is my second newest rod. This is an Abu Garcia Pro Max. It is their Pro Max 3. It's an 8-bearing design, and it is a 7:1-to-1 gear ratio. And you guys know me, again, Berkley cherrywood rod. These are great rods for the money, 20 bucks, and I think they act a lot like $80 rods. This is a 7-foot medium heavy with a fast action tip. So you're able to really get set that hook on bass whenever the lure's out there, maybe 40, 50, 60 feet. Now you guys know a lot of rod companies make some different powered rods. Not a Berkley medium power is not going to be the same as a Shakespeare or an Ugly Stick medium power. This medium power Berkley acts a lot, medium heavy power Berkley acts a lot like a regular heavy or even a mag heavy for some companies. So I really like this guy. This rod can handle up to a 1 ounce bait, which is really nice. It's my big stick. I use it for big Texas rigs, normally frogs. I almost always have a frog on this, but it is my topwater rod. I wasn't sure about the braid, which is a spider wire 30-pound braid. Wasn't sure about using it for regular topwater stuff, but whenever I was up at Kuka Lake, that really clear water, I decided to put a Zero Spook on it, and I was calling in fish all day long, even with the braid. So that's definitely something that I like about it. This is my main topwater rod, and if this one's with a frog on it like all day, but I want to cast Zero Spook, I'll use that spinnerbait rod that I mentioned earlier that has the monofilament. So that's a really good setup as well. My next one is, well, really kind of was my all-around crankbait setup. This is a Abu Garcia Silver Max. This is the 3rd generation one. They definitely compacted this one compared to my first with the handle, and it's a lot lighter of a reel. This is a 6:4:1 gear ratio, 6 bearings. A very good reel, very smooth reel and reel. And I use this pretty much an all-around crankbait rod, but now since I got a new rod, which I'll show you in a few seconds, this is my big crankbait rod. This is my deep diving crankbait rod. This is my like DT10, DT15, DT20 rod. It's a pretty stout rod. It is a 7-foot medium power, and it has a probably a moderate fast action, or at least really close to that. So really nice setup. This does have some 12-pound vicious fluorocarbon. Let that crankbait get down to its depth that it needs to, but yet have enough strength to pull the lure out if you get a snag. Now, one thing that's really nice about all these Berkley cherry woods is that they do have a blank right here where your finger is, so you can actually feel all the bites there. You feel everything that's happening on it. Now, these aren't nearly as sensitive as my Berkley lightning rod that has the blank. You guys can see that blank right there, right in front of that trigger. That one's pretty sensitive, but all these rods work really well. All these rods were on a cheap budget, except for the next one. But these ones are all really nice. Now, like I said, this one is my big crankbait rod now. I'll use it for my 2.0s, the 2.5 KVDs, square bills, and any of my deep diving crankbaits. But this is also good enough for a backup spinnerbait rod, which is always good. Just in case I have my spinnerbait rod with a topwater lure, I can use this for a spinnerbait. Now, the one I'm most excited for, which I just got, I have yet to actually get it out or anything like that, that is this new number 8 factory blackout rod. I have it matched up with a Daiwa Tatula. That is their CT100H, and it is the 6.3:1 gear ratio. I really like this. I actually used a bass jig, and I was pitching it out in the yard, and it really works really well. This has 10-pound vicious performance fluorocarbon on it, and I really like it. Now, one thing I will say is this rod is a very light rod. You can get on Tackle Warehouse for right around $80, and it works. So far, what I can tell just by holding it, it's going to work really well. Now, this one is I got specifically for jerkbait fishing. I didn't have a jerkbait rod, and this one actually is pretty much designed for it. It is a 7-foot 3-inch medium power with a moderate fast action tip, so it'll have a good tip for the jerkbait, get a good action on there. But this is going to turn into my all-around crankbait rod whenever I'm not using a jerkbait. If I'm not using a jerkbait, I'm going to be using a crankbait on this. Now, if I happen to need a jerkbait up at Kuka Lake with that clear water, it's a really good jerkbait lake, I'll be using this. But if I'm not using one, this is going to be my go-to crankbait rod. So, you know, really looking forward to this. As you guys see, if you guys don't know anything about the Daiwa Tatula, it has this T-wing setup. And whenever you actually let that let the line go, that T-wing goes down and it lets the line out over a wide path. And as soon as you start reeling, that goes up, and that keeps it all, the line all nice and tidy on the actual spool. So a really nice setup. I'm really looking forward to using this. But this is the rod and reel setup of beginning of 2017. I'm going to be using this with this cold water in here. I'm going to be using this pretty soon, so hopefully I'll be able to get you guys some reviews on this rod and reel. I'm pretty excited to use it, as it's really my first non-budget kind of rod and reel setup. So, but anyways, as New Year's coming in, I hope you guys had a good 2016. I hope you guys got out and fish, out on the hunt, anything like that. I hope that in 2017 you guys get out even more into the outdoors. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments. I'm not a professional, but I could probably help some of you guys out. And yep, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.
You wouldn't look at me at all.
No, because I probably would have laughed.